Play that funky music in the clubhouse. The Twins have won a game. Joe Ryan and Ty France leg wrestle for full ownership of the Royals. Pablo hits the IL. Does that mean Zebby hits back? Bailey Ober is back in Missouri, and you know what that usually means? It's time to get Locked On Twins.
You are Locked On Twins, your daily Minnesota Twins podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Locked On Twins, your daily go-to source for the top Minnesota Twins insight, discourse, and analysis. Personally, it's my favorite show of the Imperial Locked On Podcast Network, which, by the way, brings you your team every day. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe where applicable. I'm Dave Brown, an MLB writer who doesn't own the Royals like Joe Ryan or Ty France, but he does have someone in his family who installed the fountains at Kauffman Stadium. I'm also a BBWA member and a Hall of Fame voter. Across the Great Plains of cyberspace is Brandon Warren, who surely knows how to use plumbing, if not install it. Brandon was a Twins fan who became a Twins writer, and now he's both. You can't find us at Puckett's Pond anymore, but there's always Access Twins and zone coverage. On the podcast today, Joe Ryan made one of the best starts of his career Wednesday, or anyone's career if we're talking really big picture. 2 hits over 7 scoreless innings against the Royals. No walks. He hasn't walked anybody yet in 3 starts. Somebody knock on wood. He waited patiently for the offense and bullpen to help him out, and guess what? They did. Ryan is literally the best pitcher ever against the Royals, minimum 9 starts. Ty France probably isn't literally the best hitter ever against the Royals, but KC's TV announcers act like he is. Pablo Lopez, he's got a grade 1 hamstring strain. He's going to the 15-day IL, and he's going to have to miss maybe 3 starts. I did some math, so it's shaky. The Twins have 2 off days in there over the next couple weeks, so we'll see. But first, you should know that this show is brought to you by Brandon and me. You can't call it a streak, Brandon, until you win 3 in a row. 2 in a row, it's just a smudge. But the Twins can win their 2nd straight today if Bailey Ober can just will himself to do it, because he's in Missouri, where bad things tend to happen for him. So from your perspective, was it nice to have the Twins win a game? It seems like it's been like 2 weeks, but it's only been since like Saturday.
Yeah, and I think maybe the thing that we sleep on is how good this Twins pitching staff has handled this Royals offense. No earned runs in game 2 of the series, 2 unearned, and that was enough to win the game. And then obviously the shutout by Joe Ryan, even 4 runs in the first game. I mean, I've talked about how I wasn't sold by this Royals offense, and they haven't done anything to change that. Then again, you know, they did enough to win, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. But I thought Joe Ryan was fabulous. The split, especially for me, was looking really, really good. I mean, you'd like more than 4 strikeouts in 7 innings, but it's 1 start, and he'll probably strike out 9 in 6 innings next time out and get back to that strikeout per inning like he's usually good for. Griffin Jacks, almost an immaculate inning, 10 pitches, 10 strikes, did give up a hit in there, but looked like vintage Griffin Jacks. And, you know, I know some people were kind of like, well, why Joan Duran, 4-run, whatever. You need to nail these games down and start getting into a rhythm of winning before you worry about who does and doesn't pitch with a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. And Ty France, something like a 1,400 OPS at Kauffman Stadium. Matt Wallner finally breaking through against a lefty. We're seeing a lot more left on left. I wouldn't say violence yet, but left on left opportunities. And I don't know. It at least looked for one night like the Twins were as good as you and I have thought they should be.
For sure. Yeah, they didn't. They were very patient against Seth Lugo.
I heard you ask that question.
Did I? Yeah. Well, they were waiting it out. The Seth Lugo start reminded me of his start against the Yankees in the playoffs. They did the same thing. They maybe even did a little better job early of getting him to throw pitches. And Rocco's like, well, Lugo has a very good way of, for 2, 3, 4 innings, just killing you and dominating and having command of the strike zone, and you're in trouble. But he also has, he's a former reliever, so converting to a starter, he's been very successful at it.
Right.
But he does have, there are opportunities that you will get in a game where he does not he loses his command, and the Twins were able to take advantage of that to a certain degree. They didn't, pound them into the ground a little bit, but 4 runs for the Twins lately is a lot. So that's good news on the offensive end. You're right about Ty France. There probably are guys who have better numbers against the Royals, but it was funny. I was listening to one of our friends who's a Twins fan who was in Kansas City, John Leno, said he was laughing at the Royals announcers saying, "Oh, here comes Ty France again." And it's funny just because it's a guy with a 500 OPS, but we've talked about how he's hitting the ball better than that. And he usually has amazing results against the Royals.
Yeah.
33 for 80 against them lifetime, which sounds even better than 412. And he's got a 447 on base, 650 slugging percentage. He's got 13 doubles in 80 at-bats against the Royals, which is that's my favorite part of those stat lines. So he took exception. I think he was half kidding, but they got behind Trevor Larnach 3-1 and put him on intentionally to face France. And he didn't hit a home run there, but there was a space on the right side of the infield, and he did what Ty France does: good bat control, good bat to ball. Went to the opposite field, got behind. He was 0-2 when he got that. It was a bad pitch, but he didn't miss it. There's so many times when the Twins have maybe had an opportunity or whatever to take advantage of a bad pitch. He didn't miss it, and that was a big at bat. So he wasn't sure after the game if he was more excited about that or his home run. He's like, you know what? I'm still glad I got a home run to the tank. So he's got at least one this year. So he had 2 really good at bats. He had more than that. The only out he made was it wasn't that hard, but he hit it up the middle. Lugo defended himself. I think it was about 80 miles an hour. But the thing about that was even good luck, because if Lugo missed the ball, it would have been a double play probably. Massey right behind the bag, and Massey was there. So
base running too by those guys to get back.
It's turning for It's turning for France.
France is a career 481, 591, 769 hitter at the K. So he likes facing the Royals, but he really, really has been good in Kansas City. And
that's like Ryan, who is the best pitcher against the Royals, minimum 9 starts in the history of the game. He has the best ERA ever of anybody against the Royals if you go by at least 9 starts. And at Kaufman, 0.90 ERA in 5 starts. So
the Twins have won all 9 of them too.
Yes,
I think he's 7-0, and the Twins have won all 9.
You're right.
So
you're right.
It's between, I think the Twins, I think Joe Mays used to own the Royals, or maybe I'm thinking he owned the Tigers. I don't remember for sure, but they've had a few guys over the years who've owned the Royals, and Joe Ryan is right there with the rest of them. And who knows? Hopefully, Bailey Ober can start a little run like that, because as we've stated a few times now, Missouri has not been. Missouri loves company, and so does Bailey Ober when he's not in Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri loves Bailey Ober because, but I'm covering the series for zone coverage and for Pioneer Press. I'm filling in for Betsy this week, so go read me over there. I asked Bailey Ober about this. We're kind of getting ahead, I think, on our segments, but whatever. We have a lot to talk about. And I'm like, so, we've made a big deal about you not pitching well in Missouri, but you also had maybe not your best start last year, but like your second best against the Royals. It was actually a very fateful day. I think it was September 4th, something like that. And he was only about 82 pitches, 7 shutout innings, maybe 2 hits allowed. And then Rocco went to the bullpen. I think it was Griffin, and he blew the lead. And the Royals were never really the same after that. Now, I'm not saying
Twins were not the same.
Thank you. Well, maybe the Royals weren't either, but I meant the Twins. Yes.
Yeah.
The season was not the same after that point, coincidentally or not. So, but bottom line, he knows how to pitch in Kansas City. He's done it before. Everybody gets up in arms about this, but his first start last year was a complete disaster. His first start this year at Busch was a complete disaster. Last year, his first start was at Kaufman. So that's where a lot of his bad ERA, 736, 763, I think, in Missouri comes from. But he can do it. And he's like, that's just baseball. That doesn't really have a meaning. Now, he did say there are times when you can will your way to a win. It does happen every once in a while.
The TWTW.
Exactly. But he's like, most of the time, just go through your process and stick to it and stay disciplined, and good things eventually will happen. Well, maybe good things eventually are happening for the Minnesota Twins.
Did you get to the bottom of if he ate St. Louis style pizza?
I didn't. We did talk a little bit about how he lost 8 pounds and then he gained it back. And I asked him, for a guy of your stature, you probably have to eat a lot, don't you? And he didn't sit on me and, what do you mean, little boy? And
fee, fi, fo, fum. Your question's really dumb.
I didn't. What was that, Brandon?
Sorry, fee, fi, fo, fum. This question's really dumb.
He wasn't like that at all. He was very, he humored me well. And
he's a good dude.
He was very polite, young, tall man. So,
but he does need to eat a lot. Is that what he is? That
yeah, he does. He does. And he's good. He said at usually maintaining his weight. So it was a little jarring for him to lose 8 pounds in about 3 seconds, which is about all it took. But he did admit to his last 2 starts were probably affected by that a little bit in terms of stamina, certainly.
Sure.
But he's all better now, and I'm sure I'm jinxing it, but I look for him to have a better start than he did. Something more along the lines of how he pitched in September than he did the first series of the year last year in Kansas City. So we are going to take a break. So, hey, if you want to go eat something, go ahead. Do that now, and then we'll come back. We'll talk more about the Royals and Twins.
Well, our first spot today is Prize Picks. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With Prize Picks, you pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player. Actually, it's at least 2. It's no longer 2 to 6 player projections. And if you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs, you name it. Prize Picks keeps every game exciting. This week, you get to pick if you want Aaron Judge to hit more than 1 home run or Shohei Ohtani for more than 1 stolen base. It's that easy. You run into the app. And again, more than, less than, you can do single games. You can do all kinds of different stuff. Really, you got to get in the app and check it out because there's more than I could tell you in just a minute of a spot. But speaking of a minute, you can set up a lineup in less than 60 seconds. And when you win, your payout is quick, safe, and secure. And I always like to take advantage of Taco Tuesday in the Prize Picks app, I might add, which offers discounts on select player projections for even more value. Download the app today and use the code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. And Supply House is in your house. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades. You're right, that's Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order your products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. There we go. Easy for me to say. If you need help with an order, I need help with reading this ad. Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trademaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every single order. Thousands of skilled pros are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trademaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5. That's Sam Horn 5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com.
Do you remember the Sons of San Horn blog?
Yep, I do. That was like the golden age of there was the Dickie-thon fan club and there was the dugout. It was a fun time for baseball content back in 2010, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, really still at the internet's dawn. I mean, it had been going on maybe not quite 10 years yet, and it was still kind of a homemade Rube Goldberg sort of thing. So I like that aesthetic of the internet. But hey, I wanted to talk about we're talking about the Royals and the Twins series. Game 4 is today. The Twins have a chance to even the series. I think there's a good chance. Ty France, to rhyme it, is 10 for 20 against Michael Wacha. I don't know. It's hilarious. Bailey Ober's pitching. It's Missouri, but he's done well there before. Last night, though, there was the Twins actually got the Royals to make a mistake on the bases. And I don't know if it was a mistake so much, but it was an aggressive move by Bobby Witt. He was stealing third, and there was a fly ball hit to pretty deep center. And Bader got in good position, and Witt had a hands first slide into third. And Bader later credited Willie Castro with giving him a deke over third, a decoy. And there was too far to run. I mean, he's the fastest guy in the league, but Bader was able to turn a double play. Nice stretch by Edouard Julien at first base. Everybody's wondering, hey, is this guy going to play first? I can't, he looked like a first baseman on that play. So that was a big moment on defense for the Twins, who've had a very strange year with the glove. They we talked about the unearned runs earlier in the series. You'll see them make a couple mistakes, and they're usually costly, but they're also capable of making really good plays on defense. It might be, I don't know if that's the most frustrating part of the season so far, but it's in the team photo.
I would say like the offense going dormant for long stretches would be like my number 1 with a bullet, but number 1A or number 2 would definitely be the defensive lapses. Like, for instance, Edouard Julien made just an incredible pickup on a rocket shot to second base. But then you see, and again, it's a different person, but Mickey Gasper kind of flubbing that fairly routine grounder to second base. And
costly too.
Yeah, it's Jekyll and Hyde. It's, whatever contrasts or opposites you want to use for
Abbott Costello.
There you go. Exactly. So I think it underscores too just how fast Bobby Witt Jr. is, that he slid, got up on the left side of the bag, tagged the bag, got back, slid, and was only out. It wasn't like a bang play at second base, but it was close enough that like he made it close. He made it that Bader had to make a good throw. Julien had to do everything he could. It was a very impressive play all around, but it really goes to show how incredibly talented Bobby Witt Jr. is.
And just how much you have to account for him. He's an interesting hitter because he still has some, I don't want to call them bad habits, but he's better at his strike zone judgment than he used to be.
He hits like a young hitter though.
He does. He is a good bad ball hitter.
Yep.
He's still kind of got that instinct in him. He's talented enough to overcome it. I could see a career arc maybe where the middle of his career, he's pretty good with his strike zone judgment, and maybe that lasts for like 10 years. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning and maybe the end, we'll see more of the high strikeout high strikeouts and low walks kind of thing. But the thing is, and even like Griffin Jacks made a great pitch on him Tuesday, the ball that he hit back to the mound for nothing, but he put it in play. I mean, there's nothing you can do with that pitch except basically what he did. And then Jacks was like, oh my God, it's Bobby Witt. I got to throw to first. And, Ty France is 5'11", not 11'5". So the ball was way up there. Anyway, but still, you got to give like 10% of that error on Jacks to Bobby Witt just making you pee your pants.
His mere and sheer existence causing ruckus around him. Yeah, he's chaotic, and the Royals have him for a very long time. So put up or shut up, I guess. But yeah, it just goes to show how much of a talent he is too, that he is that, I don't know if you call it raw, but like he's still a ball of clay being molded into whatever he's going to become in the next 3 to 5 years in his prime. And that's just how special of a player he is. Like it's he's exceptional. To steal a word from Rocco, he's exceptional.
That was like the third word out of Rocco's mouth last night, and he winked, I think, as he said it. That was an exceptional performance.
He uses exceptional a lot. I mean, I haven't seen Rocco now in the clubhouse in a few years, but just hearing him on the post-game pressers, he loves the word exceptional. So now I love that word too.
I want to take one more exceptional break just to make it whatever, and then we'll talk about Pablo going on the IL and what the consequences are of that, and some details on what's next.
Stop. Zebby time.
Oh.
Gotcha.
What? I was stopped.
Yeah, if you were looking for a snack that packs a protein punch, wonderful pistachios is what you're looking for. It's a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, and crack into a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. Wonderful pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts you're going to find out there. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, which is over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Again, I know I kind of bang the drum for the ones that are in the shell. I like that it slows me down with my snacking. I can be a little more mindful. I'm not exactly a mindful snacker, and I'm sure if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that. But if all I can find, I run by a pharmacy or something, and they've got the little bags of the ones that are already shelled. Those are phenomenal too. I can't say enough how great the pistachio nut itself, whether in shell or out of the shell, tastes. So if you're looking for a snack that's either mindless or something that you want to be mindful about because it's good for you, Wonderful Pistachios is the way to go. Get snackin' and get crackin' with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more.
You know what pistachios are, Brandon? They're exceptional.
I actually had pistachio almond ice cream the other night.
Yeah.
I was having kind of a little cheat night from my diet, and there's a place here in town that has some ice cream that's from Wisconsin, and I'll tell you what, that was exceptional too.
Oh, that's a good place for Wisconsin. They have cows there. Cows know how to make milk. Milk knows how to make ice cream. So,
well, if you didn't learn anything about the Twins, you learned something about ice cream with this show today.
Pablo tried, but we're Locked on Twins. We're talking about Pablo Lopez going on the 15-day IL. I keep saying IL because I've
been watching old games, and so I keep hearing that, and it kind of like makes my ears prick up a little bit. They're talking about who was it? It was like in 1993 or 94, like Kent Herbeck coming off the list, and still just kind of sounds weird.
Well, Pablo tried to will himself to avoid the IL. You know how Bailey Ober said, you could will yourself to win a game sometimes.
Yep.
And Pablo was trying to will himself to not need the IL, but these professional athletes have to be separated from their delusions by force. So they're like, Pablo, we have film of your leg. You need to take a break. So he's going to do it. He says he feels better. He said, I take it as good news, the severity of it.
Yeah. I
take it as bad news because it's probably going to land me on the 15-day IL. I had to be persuaded and think logically about it. When it first went through, when I first went over it, there was emotional, passionate filter of there's no way I'm coming out. I can pitch. I can do it. And then after it went through the filter, we went over the logical thinking filter, which I like to think of myself as a logical thinking person. This early in the season, it would be a pretty big risk to go out and have to try and pitch in 5 or 6 days. So Pablo came to his senses. Now what do the Twins do? I don't know exactly. I mean, we're going to find out, I think, but I don't know if we're going to find out today because if you're the Twins, Pablo's next start is going to come up Sunday against Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to take advantage or have an extra pitcher on the staff or something like that?
Yeah, I'm bringing up Cody Funderburk. I mean, Funder down under. That's what I would. Their 40 is tricky because they've got starter guys and starter-ish type guys. There's I always screw up Andrew and Tanner. They have Tanner Morris and Andrew. Why can't I remember the two?
It's Andrew Morris
and Tanner.
Cody Morris. Cody Morris.
Nope, it's not Cody Morris.
Cody. Who's Cody?
Cody Funderburk is who I'm bringing up, though.
Is this Locked on Twins or is it unlocked?
Well, and so anyway, though, the way that the way that the 40 man is set up, you're basically your only true reliever. And I think we're thinking about Andrew Morris.
Andrew Morris.
There we go.
Who's Cody.
No, Cody. Travis Adams is who I'm getting confused about. Travis Adams
right now, I believe, is he not?
What's that?
I think Travis Adams he's relieving right now. He's in the bullpen.
Well, and so you could bring him up, get some length, or Cody Funderburk. Otherwise, it's like Zebby, Festa, your starter types. I think, they don't have an abundance of healthy pitchers on the 40-man roster because you've got Stewart down, Tonkin down. And so I would bring up Fundy, at least for, because, you're facing Detroit. Is Detroit first or is Detroit second? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, Detroit's not.
Okay, so you've got Kerry Carpenter.
That's why. He's why.
Yeah. That alone, at least until Zebby is ready to help you, you're going to be at home. Sorry?
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about, Coulomb should face Kerry Carpenter.
I'm just saying, though, like having protection in the event that maybe you face Carpenter in the 6th and then again in the 8th or something like that. It's just extra protection. And so I would bring up Fundy until Sunday, and then I would I knew you'd love that. And then make the move then. But yeah, have an extra arm. We all see that Rocco likes having a deep and varied bullpen. Funderburk gives you something you don't have. He throws a little more firm, I think, than Coulomb at the very least. I think Fundy's more of a sinker slider guy, and Coulomb, I'll tell you this much. I would hate standing up there against Coulomb because I feel like when his arm comes forward, then the ball follows it like a second later.
Right.
And that's got to be so difficult to pick up left. He's good left on left and left on right. I think he hides the ball better than any Twins reliever I can remember in recent memory. You've got like the Pat Nesheks who, obviously the arm length or arm slot and that sort of thing. But, between Coulomb and then Fundy, you'd be covered pretty well for Detroit. And who knows what happens between now and then. Hopefully nobody else gets hurt.
Oh boy, from your mouth, lips. But Rocco's Rocco's very cautious about what he says. I don't think that's that different from any other manager. So
Right.
He wouldn't say that Zebby Matthews, who would be in line to start Sunday, in his next start, let's see if he stays in the minors.
Yeah, they started on the same day.
They did. So what a happy coincidence. I think we should expect Zebby to be there on Sunday. I think that is.
But not today.
Oh, no. Not
Like
today.
when you get in the clubhouse today, you're going to text me and say, hey.
There's no Zebby. But there's Pablo walking around with a sleeve on his leg. That's what I'm going to say.
That's probably I'm imagining him in like one of those Twins, like loose fit shorts, and then one of those sleeves to compress it.
Right. It wasn't even a compression. It was almost like WNBA fashion kind of a thing where you got one leg open and one leg closed. But I assume it was for a certain amount of warmth in his leg. But
Zebby.
don't expect to see Zebby called up like today or tomorrow or any day before Sunday. But, under the table, unofficially, he's a good bet. So he's got, I think, 13 strikeouts and 10 innings down there, 2 earned runs. He's pitched 5 innings a couple times. So
throwing the crap out of the ball too. 98, 99.
98, sitting 97, 3, something like that with his fastball.
It's
a good development story for the Twins. So congratulations, Fabi.
The way they've transformed this into an organization that gets velocity out of guys. I know people are disappointed with how things have gone. the last 50 games, let's be frank about it. But what they've turned this into as far as a pitching development situation,
right?
People I think would drastically underrate based on how mad they are at the team right now. This is an organization that can really create pitchers, not out of thin air necessarily, but they can identify guys who they can get to throw 98, which is pretty great.
Well, they're working on thin air next. And I don't necessarily discount anybody's being upset with the Twins for any reason. I give the fans their grace on that. It's been a rough start. It's a rough ownership. It's a TV's inconsistent as far as getting it out there and staying on the, anyway. So there's lots of reasons why people are upset, and I just say let them, because they want to enjoy baseball. And so that's where we have some common ground. I do too. And speaking of common ground, as I stall for time, thank you for making Locked On Twins your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every night, every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, such as this one.
You synchronized that really well, because I have it set up to go on the bottom of the screen too.
Did I?
And it was going like
accident.
It was like closed caption.
Right. Well, for all you people in the comments who think I find myself clever, I don't.
Quite the contrary.
Quite
right?
the contrary. So for Brandon Warren, this is Dave Brown wishing you all a very pleasant good evening, saying we will Alexei Casilla tomorrow night after the next Twins game, or maybe tonight. I don't know.
Sure.
Sometime. We'll see ya.
See ya.
Alexei.